Imagine that child again, standing alone, not crying, not because they weren't afraid, because fear didn't change anything. Their mother is gone, their father isn't coming back, and everyone in the camp knows it. Now ask yourself something. Who makes the next move? Does someone pick the child up immediately? Does the group stop traveling? Does anyone even have time to grieve? Because remember, this isn't a village. It's a moving survival machine. Every sunrise demands a decision. Find food, find water, avoid becoming food yourself. Every hour spent standing still is a risk, which is exactly why what happened next is so surprising. The child didn't suddenly become everyone's responsibility. Because they already were. That's the part almost every modern person gets wrong. You imagine ancient families looking like modern families, a mother, a father, their children, living as one unit. But for most of human history, that wasn't the system at all. The real system was far stranger and much smarter. In the modern world, we ask, who are the parents? Ancient humans asked a different question. Who is closest? Because whoever was closest fed the child, carried the child, protected the child, not forever, just for that moment. Then someone else did it, then another person, then another. At first, that sounds chaotic, almost careless, until you realize it solved one enormous problem. If one caregiver disappeared, the child didn't lose everyone. They lost one person. The rest of the network was still there, and researchers have found this pattern over and over again, not in one isolated tribe, across hunter-gatherer societies separated by thousands of miles, different continents, different languages, different climates. Yet somehow the same system kept appearing. That should make you pause, because when completely unrelated groups develop the same solution, it usually means evolution was pushing them in that direction. Think about it. Human children stay dependent for an unbelievably long time. Longer than wolves, longer than lions, longer than almost every mammal on Earth. A human child can take well over a decade before becoming fully independent. That's an expensive investment. Too expensive for one exhausted mother, too risky for one father who might never return from a hunt. Nature had two options: make human babies easier to raise, or make more adults help raise them. Evolution chose the second option, and that decision may have changed the course of history, because once an entire group is helping raise every child, something unexpected happens. The word orphan starts losing its meaning, not emotionally. Losing a parent was still devastating. Grief is ancient, love is ancient, loss is ancient. But socially, the child wasn't suddenly alone. Imagine growing up being fed by your mother, but also by your grandmother, your older sister, your aunt, your neighbor, your father's hunting partner, the woman sleeping 2 fires away. If one adult disappeared, your world became smaller, but it didn't disappear. That's a completely different experience from losing your only caregiver. And it explains something remarkable. Humans became the most cooperative species on Earth, not because cooperation was morally good, because it worked. Groups that shared children, shared knowledge, shared food, shared survival. Groups that didn't often vanished. Evolution is brutally simple. It doesn't reward the strongest, it rewards what survives. And apparently, villages survived better than isolated families. But here's where the story becomes even more fascinating. Imagine you're an ancient hunter. Food has been scarce for weeks. Winter is approaching. Your own children are hungry. Wouldn't an orphan just become another mouth to feed? It sounds logical, until you think a little further. Children don't stay children forever. 5 years later, that same child is gathering berries. 10 years later, they're setting traps. 15 years later, they're helping defend the group. 20 years later, they might be saving your own grandchildren. Ancient humans weren't planning next week. They were investing in the next generation, not because they understood economics, because millions of years of evolution had already done the calculations for them. And maybe that's the strangest part of all. They didn't need spreadsheets, they didn't need governments, they didn't need social policies. Their survival strategy was already written into human behavior. Help the child, protect the future, keep the tribe alive. Simple, powerful, timeless. And if that instinct feels familiar, if you've ever felt the urge to comfort a lost child, to protect someone else's son or daughter, to step in even when you had no obligation, that feeling may be much older than civilization itself. It may be one of the oldest instincts your ancestors ever passed down. Because somewhere, tens of thousands of years ago, someone looked at a child who shared none of their blood, picked them up anyway. And because they did, the story of humanity kept going. Eventually, it reached you.